One of the things the president's suffering from right now is number one, it's a relatively slow news cycle,
Right.
which is, by the way, another reason why it was dumb to drop that 2-page memo in the middle of the summer. She thought it would get buried. No, it's exactly the opposite. You drop that thing when something massive has happened. Go ask Gary Condit why we stopped talking about him. 9/11 happened, and his whole story got forgotten. So that was dumb. It was a self-inflicted wound. But there's only so much you can do with it when there's no new information coming out. So the left-wing press is now they're so noble. They're suddenly really interested in getting to the bottom of the Epstein scandal because they deeply care about exploited young girls. Asterisks, if President Trump could get hurt and possibly shown in a photograph with one of them. In any event, they'll keep it going for a while as they now search and use their massive resources to actually get to the bottom of Epstein. But that can't last forever. The guy's been dead for 6 years. There's not going to be a ton of new information. And I think the story will starve from lack of oxygen, even with those people you just mentioned.
Okay, so let's talk about possible oxygen. One thing I said a couple episodes ago that I got heat for, even though I'm sure I'm right, the president's a student of history, and he's a student of presidential history. And one thing he knows is don't put oxygen in here. Don't put more fuel on the fire. If they do have more disclosures, either there'll be more stories about how it's insufficient, or there'll be stuff in there that people will see as fodder. So that's why I don't believe I think they'll avoid disclosure if they possibly can for that reason.
Mm-hmm, yeah. Well, I think at this point, yes, because the way you handle any sort of a quote scandal, and they were sort of sitting with this 2-page memo, they must have realized it would create a quote scandal.
Yeah.
Is to not do a drip, 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 but to put it all out there, put it out up front. Don't have anything that can come back on you. Like, what about this? What about that? Stand there for hours on end, answering all the questions, and then at every point thereafter, you say, what more do you want from me? I did it. I gave you all the stuff. I sat there for 7 hours answering your questions. It's done. Let's move on. And then you have total credibility to do that. They've done the opposite. Like in the dark of night, a 2-page memo trying to put to bed a scandal his people created, his top people created. And Pam Bondi, as DOJ Attorney General, was fueling the fire for months on television. The nerve of that woman to think she could get away with that. I'm sorry, she's directly to blame for the trouble that Trump is in right now. And I really don't think Pam Bondi recovers from this. The base doesn't have the affinity for her that they have for Trump. And while Trump may be Teflon Don, the people around him aren't. And I do think her days are numbered.